Welcome back, friends. It's the Yoders, and I'm Marlene, here today to just do a little bit of a girls' chat to catch up on some of the pregnancy questions. Welcome, and let's jump right into it. I have my planner here where I've been collecting a few questions, and I'm just going to get started. The first question is, somebody was wondering, how is my health? I'm assuming they might also be referring to knowing that I did have a history of having quite a few health issues. Honestly, I feel incredibly blessed at how well this pregnancy has gone. Yes, I did have a few bumps in the road last fall. Not all of it was pregnancy related, like falling down the stairs or just some nasty viruses going around. But that definitely made the pregnancy harder. Overall, it's not just been a breeze. I'm not one of those women to where I barely know that I'm pregnant. I definitely know that I'm pregnant and I definitely feel it as we're getting into these last weeks. When you're seeing this video, I think we have about 6 weeks left, and so the last weeks of the fatigue setting in is definitely a real thing some days, but overall it's honestly going well. I am praying for a good birth and delivery and also postpartum. But yeah, at this point things are going well, which I'm very grateful for. We're just slowing things down over here and taking it a lot easier most days. So the next question was, will I be preparing frozen meals or for like before the baby comes, or does our family or church provide like a meal train? I think that's what they're called. Anyway, I'm not sure. Honestly, I will probably be more focused on making sure my cupboards and my bulk food items are well stocked. But as far as actually preparing food, I might have a few freezer meals on hand, which I try to do that anyway, pregnant or not pregnant, just regular mom life. I tend to like having a pick-me-up for any busy week. I actually focused more on preparing freezer meals back when we were trying to get pregnant, just because I knew from my previous pregnancy that the first trimester had been very rough, which thank God this time around it was not as hard. I was still nauseous, so any extra meals came in handy, but I focused on freezer meals more back then than I probably will postpartum. And the other thing is, yes, I should answer the question. Our church generally does a meal train, and I always, my experience is we have plenty of family that is very supportive. My sister is actually planning to come after the birth to just be here and help, so I think we should be well covered. Joel is also taking off work. I'm not sure exactly how long, but meals won't necessarily be depending on me, at least not for the first probably couple of weeks. Maybe organizing it, but not necessarily as far as the cooking goes. The next question I have here is, what do I have for a birth plan? And I was talking with Joel about this for a little bit, and I honestly feel like we've hardly talked about a birth plan. I again am planning on a home birth if all goes well. I had a home birth with Declan, and I think as a couple we're just kind of assuming we're doing the same thing unless something else comes up. One thing I would really, really love that did not happen last time, which is okay, delivery went well, but I would still want to experience at least sometime, is a water birth. We did have I think like a birthing pool here last time. We ended up not setting it up. And I also have the option in our bathroom, we have a big soaking tub. It's quite a bit larger than the normal tubs. And so I've had different people tell me they think I could actually, it would be deep enough to where I could actually do that. So I'll see. I mean, I have two things that I really want and that comes along with being at home is I want to be able to move around. One of the hardest parts for me was if I had to get into bed and be there for labor. I don't know, my easiest way to cope with it, to relax, to function, is to be moving around. I was walking up and down the driveway, I was going up and down stairs, I was just walking around the living room, anything to keep moving. And then the second thing is hot water. Excuse me. Being in the shower with hot water running over my body just helps me relax so much more. I think that's almost my number one. Once things got intense enough to where just walking wouldn't really take the edge off, I definitely want my showers, or just sitting in the bathtub, and Joel would help just pour water, especially where my lower back, if you tend to have a lot of pressure there. That just, I think water is my place to be able to relax in. And I think that's why I still really want to experience what it's like being in the water for the last part of it. Obviously, I did get out, and Declan was not born in the water then. But anyway, that is kind of my plan. At this point, maybe it's just because it's my second, I kind of hold it like this. If I feel up to moving around, of course, having my husband there as a support is definitely on the top of the list as well. But I think we'll just kind of take it as it comes. Maybe I should have more of a plan, but as a whole, I probably will just listen to my body and go with whatever I need at the time. Okay, I'm gonna have to slow down. I get out of breath so quickly when I try to talk too fast. But the last question I'm gonna be answering for today anyway, this is just a short video, is will we be showing a nursery tour? So if you've been following, you've seen that we moved Declan he was actually in this room. I'm sitting in our guest room, by the way, or one of our guest rooms, and we moved him out of this room about maybe a month ago. We bought a new, it was a twin size bed with rails, so it's kind of like a toddler bed. Anyway, so he now has his own bedroom, and we're using the crib for the new baby. And as far as a nursery tour, no, I'm not doing a nursery, but I'll be glad to show you once I figure out exactly what I'm going to be doing. So obviously for Declan, he just slept in our room in the crib for a long time. He was in there longer than most. And as long as the baby is up during the night, she will probably just be sleeping with us. I would love to do a separate nursery. I think that would be ideal. But the way our house is set up, we have the master bedroom at the front of the house, and all of the other bedrooms are way at the back. So it's like you have to go out through the kitchen, through the office, through our sitting room, into the back hall, and that's where all the other bedrooms are. So no, I'm not doing a separate nursery just because of the way the house is set up. It's simply not practical for me to be running all the way back here during the night as long as we're doing feedings. So back to the question about the nursery thing, or as far as showing you, maybe you have to give me some ideas here below, because my bedroom is full. I'll take you in there and I'll show you what I'm working with. That way it'll help make a little bit more sense. But basically I have if I want to do a crib and like a changing station in there, it is going to be really, really full. We have the crib in there, and I think that will work. But one thing that's changed since I had Declan in the room with us is we have this whopping huge chest of drawers. It's great for storage. It actually does not have to be in the bedroom, but that was the place it fit in this last season of life. I used to have it in the office, but we bought a new deep freezer, and so now that space is taken up, and I literally don't know of anywhere else in the house that I want to move that chest of drawers to. I've toyed with bringing it back here to one of the guest rooms, but if I do that, it takes away the space for like a pack and play, or our guest rooms are fairly small, they both have a desk, a bed, and like an end table. Actually, the one doesn't even have an end table, just a bench. Anyway. And so if I put that piece of furniture back here yet, it'll make it really full for our guests. So I'm trying to figure out what to do. Let me just take you up front and show you. And then maybe if you have some ideas. Oh, and I also have a bassinet this time. I really wanted something just right beside the bed so that I don't always have to get up for nighttime feedings. I did take Declan with us for a little bit, but it did not work for me. I can't sleep if I know I have a baby with me in bed, just because, I don't know, I just don't relax. And like I said, we only did that maybe for a very short time. So it's getting full in there. Let's go up front and take a look. Okay, so this is what I'm working with. I've got the door right here, and this is the space that I'm trying to figure out if I could fit a small changing station. It would make it a little bit full, but that's the best option I have right now. Unless you have other suggestions, let me know. So I've got the bassinet, obviously the master closet, and I'll just be pulling that up to my bed. And then panning around, we've got the crib over here. Thankfully, we only use one door, so that should work right there. And then here is the chest of drawers I'm talking about. I don't know if it shows on camera, but the thing is huge. And I could very well use that space for the crib and then have a changing station over here, which is what I had done with Declan. But Mr. Big Guy is kind of planted for now. Anyway, I'll see if I can puzzle that out. For a hot minute, I was debating just putting like a changing mat or basket on here and not actually buying another piece of furniture for a changing station. I would actually like to do that. I know it might not be the norm, but it would be good enough for me. And it's for such a small season of life, like just, 2 years maybe, something like that. Anyway, but it is very high. That's my biggest, like if I stand in front of it, it's higher than elbow height, if that makes sense. So I'll see what we figure out and I'll keep you posted. And then I will share at the end, probably before the baby comes sometime, exactly what we figured out for little Miss Yoder that's coming. I'm sure she won't mind whatever we choose. Alright, so that is a wrap for today. If you have any more questions, feel free to drop those below, and I'll see if I can get to those yet before baby girl arrives. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I hope y'all have a very blessed week. Bye-bye.